Darth Vader and I are sharing a special moment.
Clear the air lanes for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what?
We barely know what we're doing.
It's funny because it's true.
But we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're going streaking! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now. I'm Nick.
I'm Jen.
And I'm the Kiwi.
And you're listening to the all-new Culture Cast. The Gorehound and Charlie are not here tonight because they're too good for us, apparently.
Absolutely.
But in their place, we have the Kiwi, and she makes up for it 3 times.
Well, I am, carrying a child, so it is like I'm 2 people.
Today, we are talking about the podcast Dirty John, which has been all the rage lately. But before we jump into that, let's go into one of our regularly scheduled topics. What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
Jen, you go first.
Okay, so I decided, at the behest of Megan, to watch a show called The Mayor, which is currently on ABC. They've got 6 episodes out. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
It's streaming on Hulu and probably ABC.com. And so the premise behind it is there's this 27-year-old named Charlie Rose, and in order to promote his rap career, he decides to run for mayor of his small California town. And then he actually gets elected. This all happens in the first, 26 seconds. Also, the show is called The Mayor, so you know he made it to mayor. So he gets elected and then has to kind of deal with actually being, in charge of things. And it's a lot more charming than when it's acted out in real life. It's very cute. Everyone on the show, the 2 most famous people on it are Leah Michele, who was previously of Glee and Scream Queens. And then you've got Yvette Nicole Brown, and she is previously of Community. And so it's an interesting show. It definitely fits into my love of sitcoms that are kind of like found families and, kind of low stakes, but really enjoyable character interactions.
Mm-hmm. Isn't David Spade in that, or am I confusing with
David Spade is, he's not in every week, so I don't know if he must be reoccurring rather than a regular. But he's been in a couple of the episodes. He plays the president of the city council or something, who was also running for mayor, and obviously did not get elected mayor. And for being David Spade, I don't hate him. So, I can almost forget about all those movies he made with Adam Sandler.
Kiwi, what about you?
You can speak for both of us, because that's how exciting we are.
Yes, we tend to watch the same things.
I don't even have anything worth mentioning that, on the train, because a few weeks ago I started watching, Unsolved Mysteries again, because I stopped streaming on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the most exciting I probably watched without Nick.
Is it? Now, I've not watched Unsolved Mysteries. I used to watch it a ton as a kid, which explains probably my love of murder podcasts. But I used to love Unsolved Mysteries. Is it as bad / good as I remember?
Yeah. I mean, I think I made it through almost the first season, and I do like hearing the updates if there is an update, which there's, I'd say it's about 50-50 if they find out later what happened, they caught so-and-so after the episode was aired, which I guess happened hours after the episode aired, they would catch people.
Wow.
So that was fun, hearing, okay, yeah, you guys got caught, but then, not every story has a closed ending, which kind of sucks. I'm curious, though, now that it's streaming on Amazon again, if years later, if more stories are being solved.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Have you run into any, now celebrities who are playing, corpses or... abusive ex-husbands?
Not that I know of, but they tried to have the people reenact it if they could, like the people that were still
Sure.
living or, around. So, no, I haven't noticed anything like, oh, they're famous now.
There's definitely an episode with Matthew McConaughey playing somebody.
Oh, really?
Like, way back. Obviously, this is before he was famous. But I don't know what season that was.
Oh, I need to look that up. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I haven't recognized anybody.
Nick, put that in the show credits.
I will do my best.
Okay, I don't know if we have show credits.
We don't.
All right, well, we should have show notes.
We do have show notes, sort of.
Oh.
Well, like, when I put it on the blog, I'll, like, post links or something like that, but...
All right, link to Matthew McConaughey.
Well, Gorehound wants to do a Matthew McConaughey series of podcasts. I don't know why.
It'll be a bunch of movies, and then also this one episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Exactly.
Oh my God, we'll bring the Kiwi on as like a special correspondent during our Matthew McConaughey series.
That works. As for me, what I've been watching, kind of what the Kiwi was saying, we've been going through some shows together. Most notably, we've been slowly making our way through Stranger Things season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, are you a fan of the Stranger Things?
Oh, I love the concept, but I have never actually watched it.
Interesting.
Really?
Really? I have a lot of socializing to do.
Yes, you do.
But we've been making our way. I think we're about, halfway through the season right now? So I'm sure all the diehards have watched it 3-4 times. So
Absolutely. And they're all on Facebook talking about how...
my God, they are. There's been links and Yahoo articles, and I'm sure Kiwi, you on BuzzFeed, I'm sure they got stuff on there that I've been desperately trying to avoid because I don't want to be spoiled. That's the problem with these binge-worthy shows that Netflix drops, is that you can go watch the final episode and say, oh, and then Bob dies, and before most people even had a chance to start it, so it's kind of a frustrating element. But
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Gorehound is not here today, so I don't know if we have Man Crush of the Week, unless either one of you want to do a Man Crush. Or Woman Crush, I don't know, however you want to run with it, but...
Man Crush.
Today I listened to a podcast that interviewed the director of Thor, who is...
Tahiti Wakawaki?
Whatever his name is.
Yeah,
and he was delightful. I would highly recommend. There's a podcast called Good One that looks at humor. I have not listened to it outside this one episode, but I am going to subscribe after listening to this one episode. But the premise is basically they talk to comedians about like a famous set or a famous scene. And so in this particular one, they talk about a scene from Thor midway through where they talk about... so it's the scene... Without spoiling anything, it's the scene where you meet the Rock character, the character who is composed entirely of rocks. Right.
He was played by the director in that movie.
He was played by the director, right. And so, just listening to this guy kind of talk about his process and how he didn't want to just he wanted to have fun and make a movie and not just be constrained by the genre. And I thought he was very cool. So I would say everyone should be in love with him, and he is my Man Crush of the Week.
Okay. Tikiti Waitu Titili, I don't know. He has a wacky New Zealand name, but
very New Zealand. And it was the other thing that was very funny was at one point he starts talking about there's this one character who talks, and he basically talks like, this specific subset of New Zealander, and he's like, oh yeah, everybody from New Zealand knows what it is. And I was just like, that's amazing. Like, this is why we need more representation of people from all over the world in movies, because it's like there's stuff how would you even know about it if you're not from that area? That would be great to to get other people's perspectives on. So anyway, he was real cool. It made me want to go watch one of his other films because I don't think I've seen any of his other films. So
okay, excellent. So are we ready to dive into Dirty John?
Sure.
Kiwi?
Yes.
Awesome. So, that's our topic today. Dirty John, the big, big new podcast. Centers itself on a guy named Dirty John. Well, that's his nickname anyway, who weasels his way into this woman's life. And, oh, by the way, spoilers. We're just going to spoil the whole thing. So if you don't want to, you could go and download and listen to the 6 episodes that are connected to the LA Times. Go do that now and come back. But
come back. Definitely don't not listen to us.
Mm-hmm. Where he weases his way into this woman's life. Turns out he is a huge scumbag who's been a master manipulator since his college days, if not sooner. And it chronicles the story of this family trying to rid themselves of this guy, John. So, what are your initial thoughts about after you finished? Jen, have you finished? Have you listened to all of Dirty John?
Oh yeah, I marathoned the whole thing not too long ago.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, just in case you hadn't finished it, where we go into that. So, what was your impression? What was your thoughts on Dirty John?
So I loved it. One of the things I talk about on the podcast sometimes is how much I enjoy various murder podcasts, which is kind of a name to the true crime genre of podcasts out there. And there's a lot of true crime podcasts out there. I know I've listened to a good percentage of them. And so you've got different kind of genres and subgenres, and there are people who are basically reading Wikipedia articles to you, and people who are doing kind of investigative journalism, and interviewing family members and cops and everything. And I would say this is outstanding in terms of the genre, and I would say just kind of an interesting, gripping look at a real life situation and this real life crook, and how he managed to navigate his way into the arms of a woman who, I will say, Deborah, I feel very bad for everything that's happened to you, but also you are very dumb. But, it definitely, I think it was kind of genre bending a bit, and definitely top level for murder podcasts. I really enjoyed it, and I've read a little bit of the accompanying LA Times series of articles about it, and I thought those were also very well done, although I did not finish them. So, how about you, Nick?
I was at the edge of my seat throughout most of it, just because you're listening to this guy, and during the first episode, everything is so good. The other shoe is going to drop.
Absolutely.
All right, how long are they going to drag this out? And I'm glad they didn't drag out the quote-unquote good stuff too long. That by the second episode, this guy was bad news.
Right.
And I wanted to know more. I liked how in the third episode they went into his past and kind of dug deep about who this guy was and where he came from. And it just it blows my mind about how, for lack of a better term, powerful this guy was by twisting words and manipulating things to go in his favor. You would think that any other guy or anyone else who tried to pull this would be thrown in jail, locked away, never see the day again. While he did get caught for certain things, it was never of his taking of people, if my memory serves.
Yeah,
so, no. It amazes me how kind of a reflection on our legal system. Like, for example, and I was talking with the Kiwi about this earlier, the restraining orders that they're trying to get on him, and how they, in many cases, weren't able to do that because of one thing or another. It amazes me that stuff like that's able to happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What about you, Kiwi?
I am shocked at how much evidence there was against John that he was manipulative, that he was a bad person, and his wife kept going back to him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That women, can fall for a man like this. And, I admit when I looked up his picture online, I was actually shocked what he looked like because he did look normal, so I get that part.
I mean, I think he was pretty good looking.
Yeah, I totally pictured like a creepy vibe. But in the photo I saw, I was like, oh, he actually looks normal. But then, like, when you have all this evidence come out, all the crimes that he had committed, and you still go back to him, like, come on.
It's very tough because she's in this, like, abusive relationship, basically, and, but at the same time, you're just like, how can you be missing all of these signals? And, like, as she's, talking to her, and she's saying, oh, well, it was a marriage, and I didn't want to go back on my vows, and I was just, like, screaming at my phone, like, this is your 5th marriage. Clearly you only take vows so seriously,
And clearly he's not owing up his end of the deal either.
And no hatred to people who are remarried or anything, but just like, something happened there, where you did get divorced 4 other times, like,
Well, and also, like, everyone is saying this guy's bad. Your kids said this guy's bad. Your nephew is telling you this guy's bad. And yet, well, I mean, around the family, the mom,
oh my God.
Oh.
Can we talk about the mother just for a second?
Absolutely. You guys go to church fairly regularly. Like, I understand the idea of, like, Christian forgiveness, but I'm not saying you shouldn't forgive your child's murderer, but I think there's a difference between, like, I forgive you and, like, I am actively trying to make sure you don't go to prison for a long time. Like,
I know. Just, like, I tried to look. I tried to look at it from another perspective to make some understanding. Like, he's been part of the family for so long, and it strikes me as his I'm not defending him, but I'm just how I view the situation, that when he killed her, it was almost a crime of passion. Because he also was he botched his own suicide.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Jen.
You think it was a fake out?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never shot myself in the head, but it can't be that hard.
Because if you really commit suicide, if you botch it the first time, why not do it again?
Unless he came to his senses. I don't know. Whatever they may be, real or not. I mean, I guess I almost think that the mother was seeing it from, like, that he was almost one of her kids. And I don't know. But, yeah, it was so, like, her attitude, and now granted it was 25 years on, her attitude about it was just so, I love him, and, we need to help him, and he's still hanging around family events. I'm like, what?
It was so crazy to me, too, that she didn't seem to have any, like, distance from the situation. Not from her daughter's murder, but from, like, the idea that, like, oh, man, maybe I went a little crazy with forgiveness 30 years ago.
Yeah.
She still seemed as convinced to this day, and it was the strangest thing.
Yeah, she was a little too okay with it. You're right, Jen. There's no, like, second guessing, like, should I have been like that? I don't know, but I was. It's just kind of like, that's how it is. And also funny that the mother loved John.
Yeah,
well, of course she did.
And she's like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like mother like daughter. It's stupidity. I mean, at least when it comes to men, because she was a very intelligent woman. She had her own business, and it was successful. But when it come to men, she was ignorant.
Yeah, it was interesting. They really don't cover any of her other marriages, so I don't know if this was like a pattern or if this was just very low self-esteem.
That's true.
After
we don't know about the other marriages, but
which would be
you just speculate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and I just it's so strange. Even towards the end. So of course, we're going into spoiler territory here. Mm-hmm. That last episode with Tara, who and I was so terrified for poor Tara. Like, I mean, that was basically from a movie. Like, if that was an actual movie, you might be like, oh, well, that was convenient, but it was real life. I mean, phenomenal. But, like, so, even in the end, she was, like, watching the video of the two of them and was like, doesn't he seem like he was happy? And you're just like, what? He literally tried to murder your daughter. Like, I don't know how you still can't see it. Like,
right.
It was the most...
I think in Debbie's case, I think there's a part of her that is trying to make sense of her own feelings, in that, like, there had to be, at some point during the relationship, there had to be some legitimacy before it went all sour. And this guy's a user. He did not love her at all. She was a target.
Absolutely.
I am surprised how long he stuck around with her, only because you would think that after a time he would cut his losses and move on. I don't know, or try to pull a smaller scam and then move on. I don't know, but he never got married to any of his other targets that we are aware of, except if you count his first marriage. But I don't think that was a target necessarily.
That seemed...
It's a gray area, I guess.
More legitimate, at least.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think she's almost trying to justify what she had done by bringing him into their life, but I don't know. People are strange when it comes to love. I think we all know someone out there that's in a toxic relationship. I was thinking
that too. I'm like, we all know someone.
It's fair.
That's in a toxic relationship, and it's happened to men and women. But yeah.
I mean, I think the other thing that was sort of breathtaking was just in terms of John's ability to manipulate and to spin and to, like, and in some ways it didn't seem like he was trying as hard as he could have. Like, for instance, when he would go say that he was a doctor of radiology and he would leave every day in, like, the same pair of scrubs. And that was, like, a very cartoonish idea of what a doctor does, and talking to actual people, talking to the I cannot remember the other daughter's name, but talking to the other daughter who's like
Jacqueline, I think.
Jacqueline, yeah, who used to be, a sales rep for sales rep, and was saying, like, no doctors do this. They all just wear their scrubs in the office. They don't wear them home, and and then he would, like, wear them to a fancy event, and it just seems like a very cartoonish idea. Like, it does not feel like this is some master manipulator, but at the same time, he pulled off so many different scams, not just on Deborah, but, like, against so many different people. And it's like, it's so fascinating that people, how much I think, how trustworthy human beings can be, and, like, how, I mean, I guess that's kind of good, because it means, people are generally not sitting around trying to figure out how someone's going to screw them over. But, like, it's just amazing what he got away with. I think somebody would be like, it's weird you only seem to have one pair of scrubs,
Well, the thing that blew my mind away was that anytime someone asked him a question, he would immediately have an answer to explain it away. Like, not even... try to stumble his way. Maybe he did. I don't know. We're hearing it all secondhand and years after the fact. But, like, no, he didn't even stumble. Like, oh, that's you see, that's like, nope. Immediately, he knew exactly what he needed to say.
Yeah.
Like that.
It just makes you wonder, because it seems like that should be harder.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had that sort of ability to be that smart, to think on my feet that quickly in order to get things done. And this guy has it, and he uses it for evil purposes.
Absolutely. It's amazing. And there is an extent to which you think, okay, well, if John had really, like, applied himself and had used his powers for good, what could he have done? I mean, he could be in my mind, he could have been a politician or something. Well,
oh my God.
whether or not that would have, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
he would have contributed something to society in one way versus just grifting.
Right. No, but if he'd tried to like apply himself to a legitimate field, you know, and hadn't just gotten caught. And to be fair, he also seemed to be very addicted to drugs, and you know, all of that I'm sure didn't help. But you know, if he'd really like applied himself, I think he could have been very successful in life. And so it's just so crazy, like the wasted opportunity, and to have come from a family that seemed pretty normal.
Oh, hey, ladies, we have the Gorehound that's wanting to join at the moment.
What?
Yeah, so
he doesn't get to.
He doesn't get to? All right. Well, you could tell him that here. Let me see what's going on here. What's this guy?
Maybe he threw up and he feels better.
Maybe. What's this guy doing?
I always feel better if I throw up.
Hey.
What's going on here?
It's a long story, but I'm here. So I needed to get my mind off of things. I'm dealing with work stuff right now. So, how's it going?
It's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I still join the party though?
I don't know. Kiwi, what do you think?
Okay.
Kiwi, you joined the crew. That's awesome. I've been known at work. I believe that they're going to start calling me Kiwi. Because I have eaten kiwi like every day straight for like the past month there, and that's what they've associated me with.
Well,
Kiwis do not seem to be in season.
Yeah. So where are we? Can I join in?
Yeah, I guess so. We're all over the board at the moment. So
I want to talk about something.
Okay, I don't remember what we were talking about before Gorehound joined in. So go for it.
I want to talk about his first wife because I have some unanswered questions. So when they were in college, he failed out of law school and he had started dating her. Did she not know that he had failed out of law school? I mean, because she wasn't going to law school, right?
She didn't know how old he was, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
he gave a fake.
Because he was like 5 years older.
Right, and he said he was her age or a year older or something. Like, you know, I would believe he would lie about it. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they were in the same school, it would be easier for them to like coast. He would more easily be able to coast under the radar. Like if me and the Graveyard Queen were going to school together and like I dropped out, it'd be really easy for me to just like walk along campus and like still act like I'm there. So yeah, he could have done that.
I dated a guy who, not while this was happening, but his roommate in college like flunked out and like somehow didn't have to leave the dorms. Like they didn't realize he'd flunked out or something, so he just stuck around for a semester until someone realized it. Like
I've seen that happen.
It was very
before.
like 80s movie. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I agree that it would be very easy to fake that you were still going to school or like, I think you could do it.
Yeah, but I guess the question is, if he never got his law degree, wouldn't his wife-to-be question, hey, did you ever finish law school? You never got that degree. Or did he just give some bullshit excuse?
Yeah, that's what I want to know, too. Like, did he
but I don't
say,
think
it
something...
wasn't for me, and then just like walk away, and then, he go to the nursing school?
Maybe.
No, he could have just rolled with it and like said that he got it and he didn't want to go to the graduation ceremony. Like, you don't really need to prove to your significant other that you have a diploma. Like,
well, now I think
they all
his.
Yeah. The only guy...
Nick would know if I was lying. You could go look up my degree.
I know.
The degree you printed on a printer.
After our first date, I looked you up in our system to make sure you were legit. No, I did not. Anyone from NIU listening? That's like invasion of personal.
That is smart dating.
Yeah.
She said she went here, but did she really?
Yeah. There's no one named Kiwi here. What is going on? But there's some really more questions need to be answered. Maybe those questions were answered, but in order to keep this episode and keep the whole Dirty John podcast down to a 6-hour show, they probably wouldn't be able to have everything in there. Who knows?
Yeah, and this guy, I mean, I am sure, like, this is only like a quarter of the story, because based on like how many lies he was telling, you just don't know how deep this goes.
Oh, absolutely. And there's probably, an ex-wife or two who don't know what his real name was, or who, because he was giving fake names to all sorts of people and
right.
Yeah,
using his middle name or not. Or
because some people may actually like really like the guy and just don't know anything about this. They never hear from him again. And it's like people have a good impression of this guy in their mind. And nobody should have that good impression. Everybody should know, like, everybody who hurt, like, they should know, like, he's not going to hurt anybody else anymore.
Right, but you think about all those people who are probably, who have no idea, who are, sitting somewhere wondering if he's going to pop back up and cause more trouble, and they just don't even know. Either because they didn't know his real name, or because, they don't listen to podcasts.
I would almost wonder if, given the popularity of this particular podcast and the story is probably going to be, just go viral, if those people who were afraid of this guy or who were being targeted by this guy would have gotten some sort of wind of it. Because you think if someone's searching you, you're probably going to search them back to make sure, okay, is anything up him every now and again? Who knows? But...
Oh, you hope so. You hope all those people.
They do address that a little bit about people who are afraid of him and they don't even know he's gone or something. So, Gorehound, did you finish the whole show?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I cruised through this because it was very suspenseful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, like, I hate these like true crime things because they're too real, and like I hate hearing about all these awful people, and especially I feel like this guy like invaded like my dream realm of podcasting. I can like listen to only the people that I want to listen to. I can listen to Anna Faris and Mark Maron and skeptics, and it's like that is what I like to isolate my podcasts to. And then this guy comes in and he's like, yeah, there's bad people in these podcasts. We talk about them here. It's like, But, I mean, it is good because this guy is, like, messed up. And this is real life. Like, this is, like, a reality that we have to confront, that there are people like this. And he's not the only one. That is just, it's...
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, and it makes you wonder because you think of all those friends of his in college who, like, didn't really know him, but still... the guy who was his best man who at his wedding, even though we didn't really know him that well. And you think, well,
yeah, these are people who have endorsed him for his actions. They know they are fully aware why he is named Dirty John. And they're like, oh, that's great. He's
great to drink with.
Yeah. And it's so disappointing that there are people who can just like walk on by this. Like we see this in movies all the time, and we associate them. They are movie characters. They are a character in this movie. But this is a real situation where there are people who are actually that asshole in the true sense of the word.
Absolutely.
One thing I did want to mention is that the narrator, or basically the format of the podcast, was awesome. I feel like this was one of the best produced podcasts, and it was like it wasn't content that got me in, but it was him drawing me in. It was the backtracking a little bit so that you can get caught up, and like flash forwards and then flash backwards, and it was like because at the last episode I was like the first minute or the first few minutes of the first episode, you hear like this guy got like stabbed like 10 times, and I'm like, oh gosh, like he's just gonna kill somebody. But then you hear that it's like reversed, and it's like, oh, that's great. Like that's what they do in movies.
Yeah, no, it was very cinematic for a podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
I was very happy.
Yeah, yeah, because one of my problems with, for instance, like Serial, was that the ending just wasn't that great. Like, it's a great story, but it's not a good finish.
Yeah.
And it's the Richard Simmons, where it's like, oh my gosh, you are thrilled the entire time, and you can't wait to see what happens at the very end, and it's like, oh, that's it.
That's how I felt.
Same with S-Town.
Yeah, S-Town.
Right. But yeah, this is one of the first ones where it's like, this actually has an ending that like I can root behind.
So what you're saying is, at the end of all true crime podcasts, we need to kill the criminal.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. that might if there was a happy ending in quotes.
A resolution. You want a resolution.
Yeah. And if I know that it's going to be, in quotes, a happy ending, that I would be much more intrigued to know that like there's being justice is being delivered.
So I had a question for you guys. When the show first started, they did like a brief autopsy, like, oh, so-and-so was stabbed and blah, 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 blah. And then as the series went on, did you think that one of Deborah's kids was going to bite it by the end of it?
Well, so I barely remembered the beginning by the time we got to the part about Tara. So later I was reading, oh, yeah, you knew somebody was going to die because it opens on an autopsy. And I was like, I did not remember that. So I went back and listened, and they did play it very carefully where you don't know it's him. You know, It could be anybody. Mm-hmm. So when suddenly, they're like, also Tara was, all alone, and then there was this crazy car, and you're just like, not Tara!
Well, I knew Tara wasn't going to die. They're interviewing her.
Sure.
And
right, and that's what was keeping me through. I was like, okay, this is an actual person's voice. This person is not going to die. But I was keeping my distance the entire time. Like, I wasn't making any judgments or like making any predictions because it was a true crime podcast, and yeah.
Well, something I noticed is that Deborah has, I think, 2 other kids that were not interviewed on the show. And
did she?
I at least one, maybe 2. Like she had like another daughter.
Didn't they say she had 4 kids?
I think, yeah. And then the nephew that she was kind of raising, and because like Deborah had grandkids, and that part of the family was never interviewed. And I was concerned, like, wait, if they're not being interviewed, where are they? And thinking, like, uh-oh, if they're not being interviewed, it means they're not around. Now, more than likely, they just declined to be interviewed. So I was thinking, one of other Deborah's kids is going to John's going to kill him. But that didn't turn out to be the case. So,
thank God.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. And I also noticed they're not interviewing John either. So I wonder, either he's incarcerated or he's... with the fishies.
See, it never occurred to me he would die because, like I said, I listen to a lot of murder podcasts, and usually you don't interview the criminals. It's happened a couple of times, but usually you don't, because why would anyone ever agree to be part of a murder podcast? It can only get played and used against you at your, if you ever try to get out or anything.
True, but knowing this guy...
Well,
he would use it, and he would use his spin in action. And
knowing this guy, he would have ended up married to the narrator by the end of it.
Yeah. He would somehow like own the LA Times or something like that. But I am curious in the coming weeks or months or whatever as this show gets, because now that this show is this case is a national known thing, more and more people are going to look into, investigate, and look into more of his past. If more things will be uncovered of him, Deborah, and the rest of them, I'd be curious to get more of a fuller story about everything that's going on. Because I think you're right, Gorehound. I think what was revealed in the podcast was only like a fraction of like the whole story, and given how this guy squirmed his way in their lives, I'm sure there's a lot more that they just couldn't fit in a 6-hour podcast. But, man, this guy is a piece of work.
Don't you? Now, the biggest question I had at the end was, what is the relationship of Deborah and her children now? Like, if I were Tara, I would have a hard time going home for Thanksgiving. You know, I just think I would.
Yeah, how can you repair a relationship when she was just, like, so joined with this guy? And it's like, dude, you haven't known him that long, and it kind of shows, like, how easily manipulated she is. And it's like, what's stopping her from doing it again?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm guessing their relationship turned out to be fine. I'm sure it was bumpy and rough a little bit there, but it seemed like the mother, Deborah, at the end of it was very much like realizing that how much of an idiot she actually was, and she's like kind of copping to it. And the parent,
she wasn't.
What's
but
that?
She wouldn't pull the plug. That she had his sister do it, right?
She did.
So to me, that says that if she actually knew how bad John was, she would have had no problem pulling that plug.
Maybe.
It's
easier. That's easier said than done. It really, really
I'm
is.
sorry, repeat. What is the reference to pulling the plug?
When he was on life support at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, literally at the end.
Yeah. I mean, she literally could have, because they were married, so she legally was probably the one who would have been in charge of his medical care or what have you at the end.
I mean, I still think she had feelings for him, which is why, you know, she couldn't pull the plug. And, you know, Tara was upset when they had revived him, you know, because she wanted him dead. And if someone, God forbid, hurt, you know, one of our kids, like, you know, you wouldn't side with the person who, you know, did the abusing. You'd side with your kid.
Did they talk about her? Didn't Deborah say, well, she gave some sort of reason, but I can't remember what it was about why she didn't want to pull the plug or was worried about pulling it.
Well, wasn't it that they said she still had feelings for him? Or?
I honestly don't remember.
Well, yeah.
Gorehound, Jen?
I don't remember.
Yeah, not off the top of my head. I mean, I was pleased as punch.
Yeah, I was more just enthralled. I was like, thank God this guy's dead. Like, if we had another podcast where it's open-ended and I'm just like, great, this guy could be following me now.
Well, right, because you're listening to it and you're like, if this man, or like, you know, what if he marries my mother? You know, you just don't want it to happen.
The only thing I could think, and I'm speaking from my own perspective, not from Deborah's, is that if Deborah ended up pulling this guy's plug, and he still had family out there, and John was a bad apple, she didn't know what his family was like, they could be just as bad. It would almost be, if someone from my own family pulls it, then no one can come back and try screwing me over again, and it's out of her hands. On that way, I kind of get why she didn't want to be the one to make that decision. But yeah, I don't know. There had to be some reason. I don't know. But with the girls, I think the daughters, I think they were concerned for their mother, and the fact that the guy was out of the life now is a good thing for them. As they were happy about that, and they could really resume being in having a relationship with their mom.
We certainly hope so.
Because I know even when they were together, Jacqueline was still in a relationship, was still connecting with her mother, even though John said no, and John then started harassing her when he found out and forced her.
Yeah, because the mom was giving her money or something,
yeah,
right?
she was going to school. I can't remember what it was for, but real estate. She was going to real estate school, and he ended up calling the real estate school and bad-mouthing her and everything else, forcing her to drop out.
Oh my God.
Like, if you're going to take someone and all their money, which clearly this guy was after, or
absolutely,
or grifting them, you being antagonistic to people who are worried about you is not going to help your cause. But I mean, I guess it worked for John's case. I mean, I would figure that would be more of a hindrance in case these people are able to use it to advantage in terms of the law. I mean, clearly it didn't work, but he didn't necessarily know that. But I don't know. They kept all the text for the podcast, so this guy, I swear.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a real life movie. Absolutely.
Yeah.
How long before they actually turn this into a movie or a TV miniseries?
Oh, but they can't because it would just diminish. Like, unless they get like Eli Roth to come out here and just like destroy everybody in this because he could. I don't think that this would be so difficult and almost like disrespectful to make this like
Dad's Ever Stopped Hollywood.
Right.
It's just these real stories just make me feel weird and cautious.
Yeah.
So Deborah's single, so who wants to...
Didn't she say at the end that she's finding that she doesn't need a man in her life or something like that?
Well, after this experience, I certainly hope she would take a long break from dating.
Well, I mean, she's also been married 4 other times.
That's true.
I mean, granted, we don't know the circumstances, but
that would be curious.
Yeah, were they abusive relationships, or was she just, naive about who they were? I don't know.
Oh yeah, like I said, that is my, I think, number one lingering question is just what happened. I believe she made at least reference to, so at least one of them I believe was a divorce. I mean, it's possible the other 3 passed away or something, but
she's a black widow.
Probably not. Well, that would be a shift.
I thought they said she was. Well, maybe they didn't say divorced. I thought
I think they definitely said something about some divorce because I think she mentioned something about the father of Tara or something like that. So at least one of them was a divorce. It's like I said, it's possible there were other that were something, but I doubt it.
I wonder how any of the ex-husbands reacted to any of this. Because especially the ones, the daughters probably still, I assume, have some sort of interaction with their father. Let's just run with that assumption. And probably would be aware of what was going on. I'd be curious to see what their reaction would be. Just seeing an ex-wife get taken over like that.
Right, and to know, for instance, the parents of her children, if there's more than one father, that would be a lot. If you were Tara's dad and you found out that your daughter had almost died at the hands of your ex's,
new husband,
scuzzy husband.
Oh my God, yeah, that's something else I thought about, but yeah,
right. I mean, and to have it laid out in a way, I don't think the podcast was accusing Deborah of anything. I think it was pretty even-handed, but listening to that would be a struggle.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Tara was a little naive when John had disguised himself, and called into the store about what, the dog grooming, and she's like, oh, this is when I work, blah, blah, blah. Now, wasn't there an attack on, Jacqueline a few days before that? So wouldn't you be more aware of maybe I should not tell people when I'm working?
I like Tara, but she definitely seemed a little... So it's hard to say because obviously this is after a big traumatic incident, but she definitely seemed a little drugged or... there was just something about her where she seemed
kind of flighty.
This interesting mix of agreed. She seemed sort of flighty or sort of or very naive or something, and then but almost
that's what I was thinking, naive, because like the whole like fascination with zombies and Walking Dead, it's like, why are you so obsessed with this one TV show? Not even like the genre in general. It's like, why am I going back to this? You didn't like learn to fight and like fight for survival because of a TV show. It's like she's focusing on this one thing, and that makes me think like maybe naive and not really thinking about like reality or things that could happen, because who could have imagined this happening?
Right.
Sure.
I think, too, in her defense, when you're at work and someone's calling and asking for work stuff, and even if they had a different accent, your mind may not automatically think that it was this guy, especially who knows what the circumstances was when she had answered the phone.
And especially in clientele position where you're going to want to tell people when you're working so that they come in during that time.
Right. I guess I don't know how many dog groomers get asked specifically. I mean, because, like, wasn't Jacqueline, like, kind of attacked by John, or John tried to attack her, like, a couple days before? Like, wouldn't you be a more higher alert?
You would,
you know,
maybe,
like,
yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, when you're at work and you're not expecting something.
Wouldn't you ask the hours of the dog grooming facility versus when are you specifically working? Because that would freak me out.
Usually you have one dog groomer. Like, you call Ashley. You don't call PetSmart. You know what I mean? So it's tough because he's got this job. She's got to still make money, but you know.
But wasn't she working for a company that, like, it wasn't something she just did out of her house?
Right.
Right. It was a dog grooming company, so they had a couple other groomers, and John, when he called using, what was it, a French accent or something like that, which we're assuming it was John. That was never, I don't think it was ever confirmed, but no.
I mean,
it's pretty obvious. It was him.
Pretty obvious.
If I could, coming from a first-hand experience, my sister works at a dog kennel, and they have a dog groomer there, and so this is it's just a local kennel where they bring in a groomer. He's not full-time employed because they don't always have dogs coming in for grooming, so he's not always in there. Somebody would typically say, when are you available? Because they're not employed full-time. They may be doing other activities, but not grooming all the time. So it's perfectly acceptable that you would ask somebody, when are you going to be in? Because dog grooming isn't a full-time activity.
Okay. No. I said that I really wanted to know about her other relationships. I lied. If I could have one question answered, it would be, who was the woman drinking Ovaltine in her house?
Yes!
Oh, yeah! I talked about that. That was never ever brought up again. Like, there was no resolution to that. Like,
I have
was.
questions. Like,
I mean, right, and that's the part of the fraction of his life that we're like, we'll never get answers to, because he has such a wide web of relationships, and this is just like a little into one of those.
Who knows? Maybe that was someone that John had hired to quote-unquote break in as an excuse to put the security system up.
I mean, but then she was like wearing Deborah's clothes, and like, why Ovaltine? Like, many follow-up questions. Like, who would even think to check what she was drinking? No, I forgot. I lied. That was my number one mystery.
Unless it's like an area where they like call kind of hot chocolate Ovaltine, and it's just like,
it's a very specific detail.
Maybe she had Ovaltine in the house. Maybe the can was sitting on the counter.
Would it be less weird if she made regular hot chocolate? Like, I still
think that would be
that's
perfectly normal.
All right.
Usually when I break into somebody's house, I just have
go straight for the Ovaltine.
Oh my god, it's just like so weird.
You know, John got divorced from his first wife. I think he was married like 10 years, so he would have got divorced like in his mid-30s. He was 55. What happened between those 20 years?
Right. Who did he manipulate, and what was he up to?
I don't think we want to know what he was up to, Ben.
God, could you imagine? I feel bad because John has kids, and now that this is becoming more and more of a public story, John's kids. I think they were born in the mid '90s. They're 20 now. If people realize that they're connected to them, man, I feel bad for them because this shadow of this a-hole is going to haunt them for at least the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing we can hope is that they recognize the fault in their father, and they just want to, live a better life than he did, and just respect that he's their father and acknowledge that he did a lot of bad things, and he may not have cared 1 ounce for them.
Yeah, I can't imagine I can't imagine they were had some sort of close relationship with him.
So going back to Ovaltine.
Sure, absolutely.
Why do they call
How great is it?
Why do they call it Ovaltine? The cup's round, the jar's round. They should call it Roundtine.
Stop it.
Can I just tell you?
You know what I'm talking about, right? Seinfeld? No. Seinfeld? Anyone? No? Fine.
Yeah, it does sound a little Seinfeldish to me.
Sorry, I had to bring that up. I was just thinking about that. Anyway.
I was going to say, so when I was in high school, my town had the former Ovaltine factory in it. So they had, made Ovaltine there until like the 80s or something. And then it closed down. And for a long time, people would like break into it and, hold seances and,
dude, if I was in high school, I totally would have done that.
Oh, absolutely. And so the rumor was always, if you broke in, you'd find like, the remainder of like, some sort of devil worshipping pentacle on the floor or whatever, and pentagon. I don't know why I said pentacle. That's weird. But
pentagram.
Pentagram? Is it pentagram?
Pentagram is the star.
Okay. Right. So there'd always be one of those spray paint on the floor, and then people would say, "Oh yeah," and that's where they sacrifice babies. And anyway, now it's like luxury condos or something. So that's how that goes. Anyway, but yeah, no. The Ovaltine, just so many questions. If I was going to break into somebody's house, I'd at least help myself to some wine or something.
Maybe she was pregnant, couldn't drink the wine.
Yeah, like they would have cared.
Maybe she's pregnant with John's child. Who knows how many children he's there?
Oh, God, no. You have no way to know.
Mm-hmm.
The son of Dirty John coming next year.
Yeah, right. Dirty John 2. Dirtier John. So, anyway, we've been talking for about here. I don't know. Do we have any other comments, questions, or concerns about Dirty John?
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, going briefly to when Tara got the knife, and this is like an action movie, and she got the knife and started stabbing him, and when the guy described how she stabbed him in his eye, and the blade went all the way to the brain, it was kind of like, I mean, I was...
Yeah, dude, that's how you take somebody out.
Yeah, I was pleased to hear that he kind of finally got his comeuppance. I mean, who would never have thought that was going to happen to him today? I mean, I guess you never wake up thinking you're going to die, but, that's, after his whole life, that's how it comes to an end, a blade to the eye. And
it's also such like a movie finish, where
finish him.
They were battling, and like, so he must have had the upper hand right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
But then it must have turned, and I just hope that he was like scared for a good few minutes, just of
Absolutely.
I could die.
When she got the knife, the tide had turned, and she was going to town on him, and he was still battling her. It's like, dude, run off if you're... But
I mean, the whole thing could have been a Lifetime movie, and you would have thought the ending was a little cheesy and easy,
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if this, joking aside, but if this ever does into a movie, and if they do the ending exactly like how it really happened, no one will believe. They'll think, oh, that's just Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And is it weird that she said that, I'm sorry, Mom, I think I killed your husband? Now, I was in shock, but, considering everything else, that she was still referring to him as her husband.
Yeah.
She messed up.
Yeah, the whole thing. The whole family's messed up.
Absolutely. I hope Ira gets all the therapy she needs.
Ugh, she's going to be in it for a while.
Absolutely. I hope she gets it. I hope she has Obamacare. I hope it works out for her, And
I hope she stops watching Walking Dead too, because there are better shows out there.
Like Fear the Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, okay.
Kiwi, do you have any final thoughts on Dirty John?
No, I think what was said is what I was feeling.
Don't worry, Kiwi. I am not a Dirty John.
Well, it does bring up points like when you think you know somebody.
Absolutely. You should definitely stab him in the eye.
But we just, it's awful to think, we can't trust everybody around us. We always have to have, one eye open.
No pun intended.
Yes.
Because he got stabbed in the eye.
No, I got it.
It's just I want to think that people are good, but then there are stories like this remind me, no, there are still creepsters out there.
I mean, I'd love to think that the majority of the people are probably good. It's just the few that ruin it for everybody.
Jen, what about you? Any final thoughts on Dirty John?
I'm really glad you guys listened. I thought it was very well done. I'd love to see if, they come out with something else, next year, some other investigative journalism. Support your local journalists.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us then tonight. I have no trivia because,
It'd be real depressing.
What's that?
It'd be real fucking depressing.
Yeah. I don't know these people well enough to have trivia about them.
No, I don't have trivia, but I do have I don't want to say a fun fact, an interesting fact that relates to the story.
It's trivia time.
Ooh.
The Charles Manson and, the story behind him, how he had his people commit those murders?
Absolutely.
One of the children whose parents was murdered has gone on behalf of Tex to get him released from prison.
Really?
Yeah, several times. He apparently is reformed and he's some priest in prison, and she has gone up twice trying to get him released, and he killed her parents. And it kind of reminded me of,
the mother.
Deborah's mom. Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that's going to do it for us for this week. So thanks for listening, everyone, to our Dirty John podcast. I'm Nick.
You didn't say it right.
I know, I realized that. It's a podcast about a podcast. Did I do it? Is that right?
Perfect.
Is that better?
That was better.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I'm Nick.
I'm Jen.
I'm the Gorehound.
I'm the Kiwi.
And this has been a hot mess of the all-new Culture Cast. We'll see you next week, everyone. You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
You're making me fall asleep to death.
Well, I guess there's not much we can do about that. In the meantime, check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. This has been a Saltwater production, copyright 2017. Thanks for listening.
Oh, Darth Vader just left.